don't think it can happen to you.
The hit-and-run chase in California, a motorcycle rider witnessing a driver slam into several cars and then speeding away.
It can happen to you within seconds, a blink of an eye.
Tonight about the man suspected of killing a woman in a hit-and-run and his plan to evade justice.
When you take your eyes off the road for just seconds, when you're driving your car, oh, yes, it can happen to you. See, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When the sands of time will run out within your hourglass.
New at 10, a hit and run caught on video, and now a teenager and his family are looking for the driver who took off.
He was a victim of a distracted driver hitting the road while riding his motorcycle going 65 miles per hour. He nearly lost his life. Now on a crusade to help save lives and prevent someone else from becoming a victim, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com and now the host of this podcast, it's Howard Drescher.
All right, welcome. Welcome to another show of DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and now, of course, this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, it's DistractedDB. And you can listen to this show and previous shows on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and now TuneIn. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB. Okay, it's been a rough weekend. I can at least say that. It has been a rough weekend, more ways than one. Just to give you a heads up, as most of you already know, I'm a big fan of the New York Giants. And unfortunately, we fell to the Philadelphia Eagles. It is what it is, but I can at least say this. We have some positivity in the Giants organization now compared to what we had a year or so ago, winning only 4 games. Yeah, we win 9 games. We went to the wild card. We beat Minnesota. We got destroyed by the Eagles, but I was expecting that, as much as I hate to say. But other than that, the weekend really went fairly well. Some other teams that I wanted to lose, lost. But that's just part of how my weekend went. Listening to a lot of news over this past weekend, a lot of DUIs, a lot of hit and runs, and most of all, a lot of wrong way drivers. A lot of wrong way drivers this year already. And we're only like 23 days into the new year, and it's very disturbing. Today's show is dedicated, and the topic is about wrong way drivers. And it's really kind of sad to see and kind of sad to deal with, but it's true. How one wonders how one can go the wrong way on the freeway. I have a very interesting story in regards to a wrong way driver who she indicated, yeah, I knew I was going the wrong way. And nothing came good of it. Trust me, nothing came good of it. But before we get into that, I think it's time to do what we haven't done in a couple of shows.
And now it's time for the top story from the previous show.
A drunk driver recently took a plea deal on a deadly crash that killed a young Tampa man last November, and now he wants a do-over. He says he suffered an injustice during his plea deal.
But prosecutors refute that, saying everything was done by the book. Fox 13's Gloria Gomez shows us what's at issue.
The intersection of South Kings Avenue and Oakville Drive in Hillsborough County became a crime scene in the early morning hours of November 27, 2021. Prosecutors say a silver Chevy Silverado ran a red light and slammed into a white Volkswagen Passat, killing the driver, Christopher Murdoch. They say the man responsible for the deadly crash is Alexander Globius. They say he was driving drunk and tried to get rid of some of the evidence before police arrived. He even asked someone for help.
The defendant asked him to get rid of bottles. When Edgar Ortiz Sosa refused to do so, the defendant removed a pack of Kona and a spray bottle that had been modified into a bomb and threw them over a wall.
Nearly a year later, he was taking a state deal.
And how do you want to plead to these charges? Guilty, sir.
But after spending a couple of months in prison, Globius is having buyer's remorse. In new court documents just filed, Globius has had a change of heart and wants to change his plea to not guilty. He claims he was charged twice for the same crime, also known as double jeopardy. But prosecutors dispute that, arguing he was charged correctly. This morning in court, the judge agreed to hear arguments about it next month.
All right, thanks.
Gloria Gomez, Fox 13 News.
A hearing date on this issue is set for February 17th.
All right, that's the top story from the previous week, and that came from Fox 13, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use sound out there in Tampa Bay. Stepped over a little bit of the audio piece there, and I apologize for that. Yeah, a do-over. No such thing. Come on, people. What are we doing? The victim doesn't get a do-over. Why should this guy do or get a do-over when the prosecutor said they did everything and what they were supposed to do by the book? It is heartening that it is so disrespectful to the victim, and the perpetrator is just trying to find an easy way to punch yourself out of the jail situation. You know what? You did what you did. You pleaded guilty. You know you did. Just suck it up and do what you're supposed to do. And, quite honestly, to tell you the truth, it's just heart-wrenching that somebody would try and have the audacity to really try to go ahead and do something crazy like this, because there is no reason for anyone to do or get a do-over. All right, you're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I am your host, Howard Drescher. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, DistractedDB. When we come back, a gut-wrenching, wrong-way story. This and more when we come back.
You're listening to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast. We'll be right back.
Honey, are you ready to go to the party? We're late.
What? Yeah, don't worry. I'll be ready in 5 minutes, babe.
Really? Can you get off the phone? I'm already ready. We're going to be late.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'm almost done.
Let's go. Come on.
Oh, okay, honey. Let's go.
Can you be ready next time? I feel like I'm always ragging on you to get ready for these types of parties. Yeah. Isn't the man supposed to be waiting on the lady anyway?
I'm sorry, babe. I know I say this all the time, but I promise. Next time, I really promise next time I'll be ready, and I'll be ready to go by the time you get home.
Gosh.
Let me see who that is. I'm waiting to see if my friend is actually going to be at this party.
No! Leave your phone alone. You know that scared me last time. You nearly hit someone walking in a crosswalk.
What? No, you're crazy. Look, I told you don't tell me what to do. I got this.
Stop the car. Stop it now. I just can't be with someone who doesn't care about my life, not to mention their own.
Babe, wait, come back. This isn't happening, is it?
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and catch the bus. Text and miss your stop. Wait. Text and be late to work.
Sorry, I'm late.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working.
Who, me?
Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey.
Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Now, back to the DistractedDrivers.com podcast.
All right, welcome back to DistractedDriversBusted.com podcast show. I am your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, it's DistractedDB. You can get this show and all my past shows on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and now TuneIn. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB. There's nothing worse. There is nothing worse than going out with your family and you're going out to dinner, you're coming back from a movie, you're doing something, you went shopping, you've had a great day, and you're coming home and all of a sudden you see headlights coming at you. Or you're driving down the road and you see a vehicle coming at you. There is nothing worse than that because you don't know if you zig, he zags, or you zag, or you zig. You know what I'm saying? And what could end up happening is something that is very, very fatal, which happened to a family here in Fontana. Help for a family that was killed in a wrong-way driver car crash in Fontana. This story comes from KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles, and I definitely appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound. This story is so heartbreaking, and you can probably go to KTLA.com, and if you wanted to donate money for the cause, their family needs some help to help, with the funeral services, help get the lives back together for the survivors. Again, this story comes from KTLA Channel 5 here in Los Angeles, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
Now at 6:30, last week, a head-on crash on the 210 freeway took the lives of 3 members of one family. And today, fundraisers were being held to help the remaining family members. Only the mother and the family's 5-year-old daughter survived the crash.
And they are both still hospitalized tonight and now need help to pay for the 3 funerals. Our Chris Wolf joins us live from Buena Park, where he spoke with members of the family. Hi, Chris.
That's right. Hello, Karine and Rick. Such a tragic story. Family members and friends have organized these fundraisers this weekend here in Buena Park, some food sales. Weekends should be reserved for fun-filled, wonderful experiences with those we love, but these gatherings have a very serious mission. Mangled cars, shattered lives. The Placencia family was ripped apart in seconds when a wrong-way driver on the 210 freeway in Fontana slammed into them head-on Saturday, January 14th. The young man's Ford sedan was traveling eastbound in the westbound lanes for unknown reasons. He died at the scene, and the violent crash also claimed the lives of Father Jose Placencia, 16-year-old daughter Mia, and 3-year-old son Ivan. The only 2 survivors, Mother Angelica and 5-year-old daughter Bianca. Both face a long journey to recovery with emotional and physical trauma, including broken bones and fractures.
Thank you.
Support is pouring in, however, with fundraisers to help pay funeral costs, mortgage, and other expenses. Family and friends have organized food sales at an apartment building along Kingman Avenue in Buena Park. There are brief moments of laughter and smiles, fleeting diversions from extreme pain.
I was hit by a wrong-way driver in 2020. I was 7 months pregnant with my first son. He didn't make it. I woke up 14 surgeries later, 2 broken legs, a broken hip. I can tell you from experience, it's devastating what is happening to this family. The expenses for this, the cost, if the community could just come out and support this family.
I mean, right now we don't have words, it's really hard.
It's really hard. We want to know why this person was going the wrong way on the freeway. You know, unfortunately, he lost his life, and we want to know what we can do, what needs to be changed so that this doesn't happen again.
The food sales are today and tomorrow here in Buena Park. Family members have set up a GoFundMe page for the Placencias, and you can find that link on our website, ktla.com. Live in Buena Park, Chris Wolf, KTLA 5 News.
All right, I want to thank KTLA 5 here in Los Angeles for allowing me to use the sound. A survivor of a wrong-way driver, 17 surgeries later, she lost her unborn son when she was 7 months pregnant. She's had multiple surgeries, all sorts of broken bones, and this is what could happen and what does happen when you end up with a wrong-way driver. And it just doesn't matter. When you have these situations, what can be done is the question. Well, I have an answer. You know how like in some airports, or some parking garages, when you go the wrong way, you get your tires flattened by a spike strip, if you will, or something that punctures your tires. If you have one of those built into your streets on the off-ramp, I think that will put a stop to this kind of stuff periodically. And, well, I should say rapidly. Is it going to cost some money? Yeah. Is it worth it? Can you put a dollar sign on somebody's life? Can you put a dollar sign on 3 family members with 2 surviving out of a 5-member family, 3 gone, 2 surviving, multiple operations? They're still in the hospital as I speak right now. Can you do that? If you can do that, then we'll come up with another plan. But to me, I'm thinking that to me is probably the best. The only solution that I can think of right now when it comes to something to stop this. Some kind of barricade, so when they go up there, they get their tires flattened, and everything's good. They stop, all tires flattened right there. Obviously, you went up the wrong way. Think about it. We'll be back right after this.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Hey, there's no way you can hide it. If you drive drunk, they're gonna find you. So stop kidding yourself.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
Sir, have you been drinking this evening?
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
They will catch you and arrest you. Drive sober or get pulled over.
All right, welcome back to DistractedDriversBusted.com, the podcast show. I'm your host, Howard Drescher, the creator of DistractedDriversBusted.com, and of course now this podcast show. You can follow me on Twitter at DistractedDBTV, at DistractedDBTV, and of course on Facebook, DistractedDB. And you get the shows on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and TuneIn. Just type in the keyword DistractedDB. Okay, in Connecticut, just a few days ago, a wrong-way driver kills a Connecticut State Representative in a wrong-way crash. What time did it happen? You can guess. It was early morning. And I want to go ahead and thank Fox 61 News for allowing me to use the sound.
It happened in Cromwell. We know 2 people were killed in a wrong-way crash overnight on Route 9, and now we know one of them was a state lawmaker. Sources in state government this morning were the first to confirm to Fox 61 that one of the victims was Middletown State Representative Quentin Williams, who went by Q was his nickname. He was a lifelong resident of Middletown. He served in the Connecticut General Assembly in 2019, and he was just sworn in yesterday for his third term. So here's what we know about the crash. It happened just before 1 a.m. today on Route 9 southbound near exit 18. State police said one car was driving the wrong way, going north in that southbound lane when it hit another car head on. And the car that was driving the wrong way caught fire. You can see video here sent in from a Fox 61 viewer of the flames. Again, the drivers of both cars died. At this point, we don't know who was driving which car, but we are working to get more details, and we will bring you updates.
Now, Sarah Bronin, the wife of Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin, tweeted in this last hour, writing, "Heartbroken to hear about the tragic passing of State Rep Quentin Q. Williams. I saw him yesterday after he was sworn in for his third term, and he was so excited about the upcoming session. His genuine desire to improve people's lives motivated his all too short 39 years."
Again, I want to thank Fox 61 News for allowing me to use the sound. A state representative, a lawmaker, it can happen to anybody. If it happened to somebody like him, you can rest assured it can happen to somebody like you. Nobody wants that to happen. I don't want it to happen. You don't want it to happen. So what can we do? What can we actually do to prevent these wrong way drivers? I think I'm going to try to find someone that can kind of discuss what can actually really be done about this, because I think I have a good idea. I've already proposed it already. Put up some kind of spike strips going in reverse direction. So when you are going up the off-ramp in the wrong way, bam, your tires get popped. You get flat tires, you pull off on the side of the road, you're going to go, oh, I must have been going the wrong way. This will prevent something like this. This will prevent tragedy. Here is another story that I got that deals with tragedy. A wrong way driver allegedly admits she knew she was driving against traffic near Phoenix. And the woman was impaired. She was driving the wrong way. And the worst of all, she had 3 children in the back of her car. And there's something that I want to touch on that probably nobody's even talking about when it comes to this. I got this story from Fox 10 Phoenix, and I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound.
New information tonight on the wrong way driver on the I-10 in Avondale.
The driver now behind bars after leading police on a chase last night. Fox 10's Lindsay Regis has the latest. Lindsay.
Yeah, guys, the wrong way driver on I-10 who had to be stopped with a grappler has been identified as 32-year-old Sadie Kelly. Tonight, we're learning she admitted to driving the wrong way. We also found out why she attempted to get away.
A wrong-way driver has been arrested after leading Arizona troopers on a pursuit along I-10 near 99th Avenue Thursday night. According to DPS, troopers were alerted to a wrong-way driver around 9 p.m. 32-year-old Sadie Kelly was traveling eastbound in the westbound lanes. DPS says troopers contacted the vehicle that self-corrected, but the driver took off and a pursuit began. Traffic cameras caught DPS troopers using a grappler to stop Kelly, but she kept revving her engine in an apparent attempt to get away. Troopers were able to box the suspect's car in on westbound I-10 at the Avondale off-ramp. That's when the suspect allegedly resisted arrest and had to be pulled from the car. Court documents reveal Kelly admitted she was driving the wrong way on the freeway with her kids in the car. A portion of the court documents say, quote, Kelly stated she knew that she was stopped by law enforcement and fled due to her believing the troopers were corrupt. DPS troopers say Kelly had 3 small children in the car. They were released to their father. Kelly was booked into jail last night. She's accused of driving under the influence, aggravated DUI, wrong way, resisting arrest, and unlawful fight. Reporting live in studio, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
Fox 10 News, Phoenix. I appreciate them for allowing me to use the sound. Oh my gosh. She thought that the cops were corrupt. Oh boy. What about her actions? What about her actions of what she was doing, what she could have done? She could have killed herself, her children, and other innocent drivers on the freeway. And not only that, she was just charged with those items that she just mentioned there. Well, what about child endangerment? Has anybody thought about that? I did. As soon as I heard this story, I go, what about child endangerment? That to me seems to be the most simplest thing to hit her up with. Obviously, she was going the wrong way. She admits that. She thought that the cops were corrupt, so she decided, well, she's going to take off and go. This is not the way things work here. And yet, people like this on the road are just such a menace to society. And what if she would have gotten into a crash and ended up not only killing herself, or what about any of her kids? And what about the victims that could have been? I know what you're saying. Would have, should have, could have. It didn't happen. I get it. This time. But think about to the previous story we just heard before. There's this Connecticut State Senator or Senate Representative, Quentin Q. Williams, gone just days after he sworn himself in for his third term. So it can happen to each and every one of us in a blink of an eye. It only takes a second for something crazy to happen. My problem is several different folds on this because of the fact that I know now many schools are no longer doing driver education. People think they can get into a car, drive up and down the road as fast as they want, they can do whatever they want, and there's probably no consequences. Is that maybe because of the TV shows that they watch? Could it be the video games that they play where, oh, they crash and, oh, okay, just hit the reset button and start over again? I don't know. I don't know their thought, their philosophy. Are they not being trained by a driver education school? Or do they just go, oh, okay, whatever. I'm young. I remember I was young at one time. I thought I would be invincible of anything. When I was 18 and 19 years old, I thought, oh, man. Yeah, I'll never get hurt. You know, you fall down, you get back up, you go dust yourself off, you go, man, that's nothing. It can happen at the blink of an eye. It only takes a second for someone to take the sands of time within your own hourglass, or you're taking somebody else's life. It only takes a second. And remember, these are weapons that we're driving. If you really think about it, I drive up and down the freeway each and every day. I got people, and I'm doing the speed limit 70. I might go a little bit over 72, 73. I got people passing me like I'm standing still. And I'm going, where is the fire? Is there some kind of fire out there that I need to go to? Is there a sale that has 110% off or something? What is going on? That's just where it comes from. And I wonder, will it ever happen? And I'm very cautious on how I drive. I drive in the slow lane, but yet I'm still doing the speed limit. I'm doing 70 or 75, wherever it dictates. I might do 65 if I'm in that area, but that's where it comes from. You have to think about that. It's not going to be that simple. It's going to take some tragedy before somebody wakes up and goes, damn, if she would have did something really bad and it killed somebody, would they book her with child endangerment then? I think they better revisit that one. You're listening to DistractedDriversBusted.com podcast show. Remember, don't let anyone take the sands of time within your own hourglass. And remember, I don't want to die today. Do you? Until the next show, don't be a wrong way driver. Take care of it.